Hello everyone. In the series of learning database management system, our today's topic is simple tricks to find out candidate key. Because candidate key is an important topic, and when you will face the competitive exam like GATE or NET, so there you don't have this much time that you calculate attribute closure for each and every element, and then you find out whether that is the candidate key or not. And if that is not the candidate key, then you have to try with other attributes and then combination of attributes, right? So going conventional way will take a lot of time, and to save time we have a trick. And this trick you can use for your university exams also. There is no problem in that. So basically in GATE or any competitive exam, you get a question like this: find out for this particular relationship how many candidate keys can be possible. So answer will be given like 3, 4, 5, 6 like this, and you have to tick one, right? So find out it quickly is the most important thing that time, right? So let's see how we will be doing that, and hopefully you will understand this with this short trick quickly and manage your time efficiently in your competitive exam. So candidate key, as I already told you in the previous lecture, it is the minimal super key, right? And for this particular short trick, what we are going to do for any relation R, first we will find out the director of this particular show. There is a show, and what we will do, we will find out the director of the show, because director is the most important person in any show, right? So we will write out all the actors like this. Who are the actors for this relation? P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W. These are the actors for this show. And out of them we have to find out the director. Now how to find out the director? The one who is sending the directions to another and not having any incoming direction on himself, then that person will be the director, and director is the most important person. Fine, let's find out. PQ is sending direction to R. P and Q together are sending directions to R. Okay. Next, P is sending directions to S and T. So P is sending directions to S and T. So we will take 1, 1, 1, 1 functional dependency, and we will find out the direction, right? Next, what? Q is sending directions to U. So here I will take like this, that Q is sending directions to U. Okay. Next, U is sending directions to V and M. So if you can see here, V and W, sorry. So U is sending directions to V and W. Now, director will be the person who is not having any incoming direction on himself. So if you can see in this example, here P is not having any incoming direction, Q is not having any incoming direction. Remaining all are having incoming directions. That means for this particular question, for this particular show, P and Q both are the important attributes, right? Why they are the important attribute? Because they have the power to send direction, to determine others, right? And no other element is able to determine P and Q, because they are always on the left hand side. They are not coming on the right hand side. If they will come on the right hand side, they will get the directions, right? But here what is happening? P and Q is always on the determinant side. And determinant side means what? They are the important attributes. Important attributes means as soon as I will start the table, I should have these attributes. Otherwise, I will not be able to find another attributes. They are the determinants who are always finding other attributes. Fine. So now, instead of doing closure of P, Q, R, S separately, we know the important elements, and we will check the closure of only those elements, right? So it will save your time. So when I will take the closure of P and Q. So first step, P closure of PQ, I will get PQ, right? Then second step, any dependency directly? Yes, PQ determines R, if you can see here, right? So I will write PQ R, right? Next what, if you can see here, Q determines U. So I will write P, Q, R, U. Okay, here if you can see, P alone determines ST also. So P, Q, R, ST, U. Then if you can see here, U determines VM. So P, Q, R, ST, U, V, W. Sorry, W. So here, if you can see here, the closure of P and Q gives me the entire relation R, right? And the attribute which is able to find out all the attributes is nothing but what? A candidate key. It has a power to uniquely identify all other attributes. So for this question, PQ together, PQ is a candidate key, right? Any other attribute if I will add with this, then it will become a super key. It will not be a candidate key anymore, because minimal super key is a candidate key. So combination of PQ is a candidate key. You cannot add anything here with PQ. Fine. And as in this question only two important elements I found, so only this candidate key is present in this particular question. Now what are the prime attributes and what are the non-prime attributes for this question? Prime attributes who are the part of candidate key. Now if you can see here, who is the part of candidate key? P and Q. So P and Q are the prime attributes. Who are the non-prime attributes? Non-prime attributes are those attributes which are not part of the candidate key. So in this question, in this relation, instead of P and Q, remaining all are the non-prime attribute. So if you can see here, R, S, T, U, V, W, all are the non-prime attributes. So I hope this is clear. Let's solve one more example with this short trick so you will understand. So this question already we have solved in the previous video using conventional way. I am solving the same question so you can match whether both are giving the same result or not. So in a relation R with attribute A, B, C, D and E, what we are going to do? We will find out how many candidate key and what are the candidate keys are present. So the dependencies are as follows: A determines C, E determines D, B determines C. Okay, these are the dependencies. So let's find out the actors. How many actors we have? A, B, C, D and E. 5 actors we have for this show. Let's find out the director for this. So who is giving direction? A is giving direction to C. Okay, then E is giving direction to D. Fine. B is giving direction to C. B is also giving direction to C here. Now where we have the elements who are not having any incoming directions. So as you can see, A is not having any incoming direction, B is not having any incoming direction and E is not having any incoming direction. That means ABE is what? ABA is important attribute. So now important attribute we already got. Next what? Let's check ABE is a candidate key or not. So how we will check that? With ABE, closure of ABE in the result set, I will get ABE. Then A determines C, so ABCE. Then E determines D, so A, B, C, D and E. That's it. Further I don't have to check because all the attributes of this relation R is present here. So the closure of ABE is giving me what? The entire relation R. So if I'm saying that ABE is the candidate key, I'm not wrong, right? So candidate key for this particular question is A, B and E, right? If you can see, with a conventional way, in the previous lecture I have solved this question with conventional way. I took A closure, B closure, C closure, D closure and E closure, and ultimately I came out with a combination of ABE closure, and here if you can see, we came out that ABE is the primary key, candidate key. What are the prime attributes? A, B, E, who are the part of candidate key, are prime attributes. Non-prime attribute C and D. Fine. So with both the techniques you are getting the same result. So you can use any technique. It's just this technique is short. When there is a case that you are not able to find out important element, that time you have to go with the conventional way only. That time we cannot do anything. Then your problem will be solved using conventional way itself, right? Now let's take one more example and see. So here we are having a relation R. This is the third example with attribute A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H. Fine. All these are the attributes. Now functional dependencies are something like this, that AB determines C, BD determines EF. Next we have AD determines G and A determines H. Okay, these are the functional dependencies present. Let's find out the director of the show. So actors are A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H. Who is giving direction? AB is giving direction to C. So AB together is giving direction to C. BD, B and D are giving directions to E and F. Okay. AD, so here A and D are giving directions to G. Okay. A, alone A is giving directions to H. Now find out which element is not having any incoming direction. So we can say that this is the important attribute. A is not having any incoming direction, B is not having any incoming direction and D is not having any incoming direction. That means what? That means ABD is important attribute. Now when ABD is important attribute, we will find out closure of ABD only. Fine. So let's check the closure of ABD. Closure of ABD. Now functional dependencies are here. So I will keep it like this. Okay. So here we can see the functional dependencies. Okay. Now as you can see, ABD. So closure, how to find out closure? The first rule is the attribute whose closure you are computing, directly write the elements which are present in the attribute. So we are writing ABD. Okay. Then those attributes which are functionally dependent on these attributes, repetitively you have to write that. Okay. Now AB determines C. So I can write A, B, C, D. Okay. Next functional dependency, BD determines EF. So I can write A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. Next functional dependency, AD determines G. Here also I am having A and D together. So I can write A, B, C, D, E, F and G. Now alone A has the power to determine H. So that means what? A, B, C, D, E, F and G, H. So if I will tell that closure of ABD has the power to determine entire relation R, I am not wrong, right? And when this is the case, who is my candidate key? ABD is candidate key. And which are the prime attributes, if I will ask you then? Prime attributes, the attributes which are part of candidate key. So ABD are the prime attributes. Okay, non-prime attributes, those who are not the part of candidate key. Okay, so non-prime attribute, if somebody will ask, then the relation consists of A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H. A, B, D are the prime attributes. So remaining C, E, F, G and H are the non-prime attribute. So I hope this question is also clear to you. Now let's take one question which is different from all these, which we have already solved. Now, so here is the example. There is a relation R, and for this relation R we are having A, B, C, D and E. These attributes we have. Okay, the functional dependency is something like this. BC determines A, D, E and D determines B. Okay, so functional dependency is something like this. So if you will find out the director of the show, so A, B, C, D and E, BC determines B, C determines D, E and A. So BC has the power to determine A, D and E. D has the power to determine C, B. Okay, now which one is the important element? If we will tell here, the important attribute or important element is only C, because C is the only one who is not having any incoming edge to C, right? Now if I will find out the closure of C, what will happen? If I will find out the closure of C, I will get nothing, because C alone is not having a power to compute any other element. With B it is finding out A, D, E, but alone C is not able to find out anything. So here nothing. Closure of C is just C, right? C determines C, that's it. Any other attribute is not being able to computed by C, but still C is the important element. What does that mean? That means now the combination, we have to go with a conventional way. Only thing is, we know the important element here. So the conventional way which we are going to solve now, we will try the combination only with C, with the important element only. We will try all the combination instead of trying with other important element, because we already know they are being determined by someone else. Fine. So alone they don't have the power to become a candidate key. That means what? We have an important element which is C, and now we are going to find out the combination with respect to C. So how many attributes I have? A, B, C, D, E with respect to C. I will try combination with each and every one. Okay. So let's try like this. First combination I will try as AC. Closure of AC. Okay. Let's compute the closure of AC. Here is the dependency. AC will determine AC. Is there anything AC can determine other than AC? There is no functional dependency. AC is not able to find out anything. So this cannot be my candidate key. This is for sure. Let's try out another combination with C. After A, BC. So let's calculate BC. Now BC, if you can see, first thing BC will determine BC. Here one more dependency, BC determines ADE. So if I write A, B, C, D and E, I'm not wrong, right? And if you can see here, that means what? All entire relation R can be find out with the combination of BC. So that means what? that C is the important element, but it is not having the power to find out entire relation R alone. But if we combine it with some other element, it can become a candidate key. So here if you can see, BC is able to find out the entire relation R. So I can say BC is my candidate key. Let's try with others. After this, I have to try with CD. So when I will try the closure of CD, here check, CD determines CD and D has the power to determine B. So BC, D. And now BC has the power to determine ADE. So AB, C, D and E. That means what? This is again entire relation R. So if I will say that CD, closure of CD is also giving me entire relation R, that means what? CD is also a candidate key. That means for this question already 2 candidate key we got, and the important element was C, who was not being able to find out anything by itself, but with a combination it's giving me the candidate keys. Okay, so CD is also done. Let's try for CE. So closure of CE next. Okay, so let's calculate the closure of CE. CE will be uniquely determining what? CE. Then here if you can see the functional dependency, alone CE is not having power to determine anything. So this cannot be a candidate key. So only 2 candidate key we got for this question. One is BC, another is CT. So they are the candidate key for now. Now another thing, right now we have tried only with combination of 2. We have to try with combination of 3 also, conventional way, right? So for now 2 candidate keys I already got. Now I will try with C, combination of 3. So let me do like this and we will solve. So combination of 3 with candidate key. Now we already know that BC is a candidate key, right? And CD is a candidate key. Okay. Now if I will add anything, like I will make ABC or I will make ACD, they will become what? They will become a super key, because already we have a part as candidate key. They will not be a minimal key anymore. They will not be a candidate key anymore. So we will try with the combination where BC and CD is not present. So what I can get? I can get A, C, E, right? Because ABC I don't want to try. BC is already a candidate key. If I will put A with a candidate key, it will become a super key. That I don't want. CD, again A with CD I will not try. BC with a D I will not try, because BC is the candidate key, CD is a candidate key. If I will add any attribute, it will become a super key, right? We want a candidate key. So only combination which is left to me is ACE. So I will try with ACE, closure of ACE. So first I will write down the elements which are already present, whose closure I am computing, that is ACE. Now AC doesn't determine anything, E is not there, C alone is not able to determine anything. So we are not able to determine anything with ACE. That means what? ACE is not also the candidate key. Fine. Now another combination, we don't have any other elements, so we cannot try the combination of 4. That's it. Fine. So for this particular question, what is happening? Candidate key is BC and CD. If I will ask you what are the prime attributes, so prime attributes for this question is B, C and D. Okay. Non-prime attribute. So for this question, non-prime attribute, all other attributes other than B, C, D. That means what? A, is the non-prime attribute and E is the non-prime attribute. So they are the non-prime attribute for this particular question. So I hope this question is also clear. This was little different from other, because we found an important element, but that important element is not having the power to determine the entire relation by itself. So it took the help of other elements. So what we did, we found the closure with respect to this element. So we combined this C with all other element A, C, B, C, then C, D and C, E. Now out of all this combination, only BC and CD are the two combination who came out as candidate key. Fine. After that what we did, we tried with the combination of three elements, where we have not made any combination with BC and CD because they are already the candidate key. If I will add any attribute to them, they will become a super key, and we want only candidate keys, right? Because a minimal super key is a candidate key. So here what we did, other than these attributes, what combination we could have get with C, that combination we tried. So here A, C and E is the only combination which we can use without BC and CD. So here we tried with ACE, but that again is not a primary, that again is not giving us any relation attributes. So it is also not a candidate key. So finally we concluded that for this particular question only two candidate key we have, BC and CD, right? And the prime attributes, which are the part of candidate key, non-prime attributes, those who are not part of the candidate key. So like this we have tried this question. Okay, hopefully this logic is clear. How to calculate candidate key is clear. Thank you very much.